Any questions? Goddamn. Goddamn, boy. I'm excited. I love Fate Extra. I love the story. I can't wait to reread it again. And I do hope they make the gameplay more entertaining than the last one. Because while the OG was alright, the RNG rock, paper, scissors was horseshit, for sure. So I'm glad that they changed the entire game mechanic from scratch and made it look like a certain game from a certain place, that certain company that ends with a yo, right? So it's pretty good. And no, notice, right? Notice my man said, "Hey, recently there's a lot of command type games, huh? Like a quote unquote card game type games that's strategic that a lot of people are casually playing out. So we wanted to go and lean towards that." They were just like, yeah, we changed it so it's close to a certain game that it's competition towards. Because why not? Smart. Well, Fate Samurai Remnant did a solid job at being an intro to the verse, in my opinion. I'm gonna tell you right now, hell no. In a way, um, hell no. It did. While Fate Samurai Remnant is a really good story, I believe it's not for newbies. It really isn't. But I do, I do agree with you that Fate Samurai Remnant made it more flavorable, right? For Fate enthusiasts, SR was really good. Yes, I do agree, right? But you also got to understand, right? For a Fate fan, SR was nice. For a non-Fate person, in my honest opinion, that shit is hella confusing, right? Because you got to understand, the moon, the waxing moon, right? Waxing my ass moon war is not a holy grail war, right? So that shit's already confusing to the newer players. Simultaneously, there's 7 plus additional 7 servants that technically 7 additional servants should not exist. Plus 9, I know, don't worry about it, right? Excluding DLC at the moment. Um, the entirety of the entirety of the story is good in its preference, right? Then it gets dumb complicated because things mixiate with different things. Which, I mean, it's fate, right? So obviously things mixiate with things and bullshit happens left and right, no problem. But for Samurai Remnant to be your first Fate series, and then you go to any other Fate series, and you're gonna be like, A, is there more rogue servant? Right? Which technically Fate has at least 2 rogue servants. Technically one's not rogue, but technically can count as a rogue. 2, the rule and the shit that happens in Fate is completely different caliber than shit that happens in SR, right? Like, because in SR we get to summon like big dick snakes, right? And we get to summon shit that's bleeding everywhere. And they might accidentally think that there's gonna be like a rail line, rail front. You know how we had the ley line wars where we kind of like had the second map. So they'll mistaken that. But it's a really good notion to start with, right? Because they'll talk about ley lines, Dragon's Meridian, mana in the land, etc., etc. I announced it and showed this gameplay development years before. Oh shit. Remember he announced it and showed the gameplay's development years before MiHoYo, though? That's true. But if you look at the new PV, though, if you look at the new PV, the game mechanic is, game mechanic looks very similar to a certain game, right? Which is good. Troubs, on another note from Nasu's interview for year 10 is going to be the last one story wise. That's when the final story part's going to drop. What are you talking about? What? On another note from Nasu interview, FGO year 10 is going to be the last one story wise. That's when the final story part's gonna show. Are you saying that in the Nasu diary he said that shit? Or are you taking shit out of your ass and I need to smack you? They posted translation on Reddit on Famitsu interview. You must not been here 2 days ago, huh, bitch? I already translated all the Famitsu interview. And I have the Famitsu interview, bitch. But let me read this shit. So, another note from Nasu interview. FGO year 10 is going to be the last one story wise. That's when the final story part is going to drop. Please elaborate what you just said, right? Please elaborate what you just said. There's Nasu saying that he's going to finish the story by end of the next year. Where? 10年というは自転車 UCA で頑張ったと思います。頑張ります。今回のインタビューで上司が加えましたが、ようやく終わりに迎えました。10年を迎えたらそれに頑張っています。いよいよ10年目。一つのゲームで10年やるなんてなかなかないものですしね。そういった意味でユーザー側も少し疲れている状況がありますともよ。だからこそ10年付き合った分、おいしい終わりを向けるというため、くたびれた体に火をつけて頑張っています。アーマーコーンのキャッチコピーじゃないんですけどね。ははは。10年というのは大きな数字ですし、キリもいいけど、寂しいけど、ユーザーが10年間楽しかったと思えるようなものになります。頑張ります。過去のインタビューで準備の1年だと答えましたが、ようやくそれも終わりました。10年向けて。人はいつか死にます。死ねはし、終わらないものは終わらないんです。終わらないものはないんですからね。ただ、突然パツンと終わるものではなく、FGO で大きなストーリーが終えて迎えて、その後をどうするか誰にもわからないという感じです。まだ大丈夫し、悩みが終わったら解放してくれ。俺 Asu says that he's gonna finish the story by the end of next year. I mean, yeah. He says last year was a year of preparation. Now he's finally at an end, right? Where is this saying that? Only thing we know is that after finish part two, NASA wants the rest. Yeah, like what? There's nothing here that specifically says. He's probably referring to the increase in deck building games, especially in the indie sphere. Probably, right? Judo. Some people are complaining that too much indie games going. Oh, I hate going to fucking Reddit, dude. Reddit's not. Reddit's not reliable. Huge shock to see a Rush Google featured in Anniversary. Blah blah blah. Hearing you say that really gets me feeling the end is soon. Is it really? Nothing is eternal. Everybody will die some way, but I won't be like boom. It's over. FGO finish its huge main story, and from there, there's no one. No one knows what will come next. Nothing concrete yet, but I'm sure you have a personal idea of what that'll be, right, Mr. Nasu? Only minor thoughts. I can't still argue. Guarantee. I've always been saying that once part 2 is over, set me free, leave me to rest in peace. Lol. But that's not looking like it's very possibility. Where does it say that? You just read right, I mean? He never said anything about finishing it in 10th year. What? You're just interpreting it like that. Wait, that's an interpretation. That's not what he said, though. Your Nasu language decoding needs to be updated. The translation of a Reddit post is misleading then? Well, it's one of those things that usually FGO's Reddits and Twitters are doomers, so of course they'll try to doom and gloom all this stuff, right? So specifically talking about 10th years coming in, Nasu's just saying lit up the body, right? Essentially putting the fire on the withered body like Armor Core 6 meme. Mr. Nasu wants to make it so that it end at the 10th anniversary, right? He wants to make sure that the user had fun with it. While it might end on the 10th anniversary, I genuinely think we're not going to be ending in anniversary 10. Because you also got to remember, Nasu hasn't told you that nothing's ending just yet. We're getting to the final part. Hearing you say that get me feeling ending is soon. Is it really? Nothing is eternal, but everybody will die soon. But I won't be like, boom, it's over. FGO will finish the main story, and from there, then nobody even knows what comes next. Nothing concrete yet on that. So you think on that paragraph, which is right here at the very end, you think that Nasu's going to end the story in the 10th anniversary? No. He's memeing! He's saying that, listen, people die when they're killed. Listen, people die one day, right? Everybody has an ending. There's no happily ever after. But just understand FGO ain't ending in a bang, right? When the large story ends, we don't know what will happen to who, right? That's future is unknown. So, my prediction, right? As Nasu specifically says, he's going to lit a fire on a withered body, meaning that he's exhausted, but he's going to push himself. So, 10th year is lit. So, if 10th year, right, 10th Annie is the start of the final chapter, but you're saying that we're going to end in final chapter, right? Is that what you're saying? If they end the main story, I'm fine. So wait, what are you trying to say, Lord Roku? Re-give me the, just package me the thesis one more time. Are you saying that the FGO is ending in 10th Annie? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is that the main story of FGO is ending next year, aka 10th Annie. False. That is quite false, friend. That is a false statement. You know why? Because Nasu, my boy, is cooking. Nasu, my boy, be cooking. Okay? That's a false statement. It ain't gonna end at the 10th Annie. It's gonna begin at the 10th Annie. Okay? Final chapter is starting at the 10th Annie. No shot. There's no way. You know why? Because he wants to make sure that the 10th year is the most litest thing on planet Earth. Mr. 2 has said it, Takeuchi has said it, Nasu has said it. Now, will they separate the final chapter? Who knows, right? To be perfectly honest, I think the summer event might actually do that for us. Because summer event's going to be the TLDR of season 2, okay? In season 2, summer event is going to be the TLDR. That's what we've been told by Nasu himself. The summer event is an equivalent to a TLDR of FGO season 2. Ordeal Call is some of the explanations needed for the final chapter, and Ordeal Call is not 1.5, or is not 1.5. And a lot of people are saying that will there be chapter 3? Probably not, because there's 2.5 that you're probably going to have to live with before season 3. Right? Because while 2.5 is cooking, he can't talk about season 3. Because 2.5 is going to explain season 3, just like 1.5 TLDR season 2. Right? So I believe on the 10th Annie, we will have a final chapter, right? Depending on how Nasu goes, he can prolong the story. He can definitely prolong the story to season 3. Or he can end the story, right? Or he can end the story of season 2. And then do something else entirely. If he prolongs it, it's still going to be called season 3. It's just that this fucking Giga Omega universe is going to be lit. If he finishes at season 2, that means that he can make an original content from whatever he was going to make for the final season 2 to make season 3 possible. In a way, the fact that Nasu says he's got something in his pocket, he can't say it out loud just yet, right? And he says, hey, set me free, right? Set me free when season 2 is over. I've been telling you guys, lol, right? So he's kind of low-key done. He's just like, listen, I kind of want to play video games. Kind of don't want to write story no more. So he's gonna probably make a 2.5 to take about 1 to 2 years off. And even though this 1 to 2 years off, he's probably gonna be overseeing, so he's not gonna be resting. And then by the time 2.5 is over, he's gonna bust out season 3. The problem is, will Aniplex make the game live that long? That's the big question. In order for season 3 to happen, Aniplex stop fucking around. Aniplex and Sony needs to stop fucking with FGO. Because they're 100% fucking with it. Future Archer Nasu is gonna single-handedly prevent old old Nasu to stop season 3 from happening. It is funny that Takeuchi and Nasu specifically mean the same shit. That he now understands. He now understands Archer Emiya's feelings of wanting to commit Sudoku by time traveling, because that's hell they walked into. Because depending on how they do it, right? My theory, chat, my theory is that they can do a Realm Reborn. They really can do a Realm Reborn. And if you don't know what a Realm Reborn is, right? Realm Reborn is, go look up Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 14. And ask about what the hell Realm Reborn is. Okay? And then by doing Realm Reborn, they can port that shit to PC. Easy, no problem. And then they can finally either do a final chapter or they can do a season 3. I mean, even on the Reddit page, most of the people seem to think part 3 is inevitable. I mean, it's true, right? It all depends on the Nasu's feelings, right? Because currently in season 2, ain't no shot we're ending season 2 like that. Unless Nasu goes done, right? But he specifically says, "Hey, it's not gonna be done," right? So understand that there's still like 5 more things at least that Nasu has to cover in season 2. That's major in order for season 2 to officially end. 3 at max. 3 at max, and then they can just bring that shit over to season 3. Also, pretty sure Nasu said the same thing similar when part 1 ended. Yeah, probably. I don't think I read the season 1 ending interview. But because I started around 1.5. End of Temple of Time. I translated Temple of Time a lot. No, I didn't translate Temple of Time live stream. I started translating after Temple of Time, starting from New Year's that year, so. Right? Also, Nasu, when he talked about collab, tells you, yeah, pretty much. Right? Listen. Nasu wants to. Like, if you guys don't know already, right? By the way, FGO equals. Right, that's it. FGO equals Type Moon Central. What do you mean by Type Moon Central? Imagine every single fate, every single Type Moon, every single story that has Nasu conglomerated goes into one hub. FGO. The FGO is going to be the biggest baby slash legacy Nasu is going to leave behind. It is essentially the world history book of Nasuverse in an application game. And guess what, chat? The good news about it is that there's a prototype of cryopreservation. OG at Madoka Magica. So, when FGO do finish his own offline shenanigans, which will be like another 10 years from now, at least, Madoka Magica has provided us a cryopreservation of an app game that can have all your characters and all your stories preserved offline. Okay? So when FGO does end, it's not in the near future, but when it does end, we have a cryostasis preservation capability. And then from there, FGO2, another Fate, you name it, that shit can come out. Right? Give us a Mega Man X dive like for FGO. Mega Man X dive? What the hell's Mega Man X dive? Can't remember. What is Mega Man X dive? The hell is that? Isn't that where you get to play like four? Isn't that a gotcha game? The fuck? Hold up. Oh, is it Mega Man X Dive offline? No shot. It's $30. Holy shit. Wait, it's a gotcha game, but that's $30? Oh, that's genius. I mean, that could work, but I don't think FGO gonna be like that anytime soon. You like you're thinking the goal. Everybody and their mom's thinking the goal is like right here, right? Like right here, and we're like right here, right? Like we're almost there. We're almost there. Yippee! Right? We're almost there. Goalpost. If Nasu wants to, he can make that goalpost here. He can make that goalpost here. And in technicality, we're right here. Right? So, we have a whole fucking segment to deal with. Because in technicality, no matter what, right? No matter what, unless Nasu fucking takes 5 billion steps, right? Unless Nasu takes a 5 billion step skip button, which he can, which I will be pissed if he does, right? He can say, if you want to end this story so badly, I got you covered, fam. And then just cover this, right? Listen, until this gets fucking uncovered specifically, the game's not fucking ending, guys. Okay? A lot of people are thinking season like FGO is gonna end. No, season 2 is gonna end. Okay? Season 2 be ending. Cosmos and the Lost Belt technically finished at LB7. But now we are going to finish Cosmos and the Lost Belts once and for all and finish season 2. Once we get back to season 2, we're back to season 1 and season 3 can start anytime they want. And they took the gotcha out of it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Then that's what we've been able to buy servant coins when the game goes into cryo stage. Probably, I don't know. Probably one day. But yeah, just understand, right? FGO ain't ending anytime soon. Unless can people give me a fucking exact reason why this happened, right? The story's not gonna be over. And like I said, if Nasu wants to take a billion step skip and then explain, like once you know the explanation of F, game is over. Because this is the single-handedly biggest mystery that FGO has ever provided us on the Type Moon lore. Ever. Because to those who can figure F out completely and logically and explain the entire circumstances of Season 1 and Season 2 combined, we're not done. Y'all think F was a tutorial. No, no, no. F is the biggest mystery. And you'll get to learn that soon. Okay? If you don't know already by now. And isn't today fuck. I don't have money to buy Elemaloid's adventure. I think chapter 8 just came out. Damn, he's been cooking for 3 months. That's kind of wild. Take care, Lord Roku. Just remember, FGO ain't ending anytime soon. But they are preparing for a grand finale of season 2, which I'm quite excited of. Remember, they're gonna hype up. They're gonna hype the finale, okay? They want to hype finale. They want to, okay? That is a thing that makes them not only money, right? That only makes them FOMO. Not only it makes them hype as fuck, and it is exciting, right? Exciting to see like an era end. Because chat, we're about to go through a generation, right? Is it generation that's 10? Is 10 an era or is it generation? Because there's a year. I think it's era, generation. Is it generation 100? There's a certain term that I'm trying to do. It's 1/2 of the generation. Generation is 20 years. Oh shit. Okay. I want to finally know what the hell Olga and Romani is cooking. Oh, dude. You're forgetting the third person. Those two aren't cooking. Those two are dead. They are. They got cooked by the third factor, right? They got cooked by the third person that you're not mentioning. And if you know, you know. Don't type it in chat. And if you have not played LB7, LB7 will give you a glimpse of it. What's the website that has all the translation for recent chapters? I have no clue, brother. You gotta look that up. I started playing this in high school. Yeah, I started playing this 8 years ago. I started to play this shit 8 years ago, got dipped into the Nasuverse, and never came out of it. I was drowning in it, baby. It was quite fun. But I've seen Melty Blood Black Alley. We all know Neko Arc is pulling the strings behind the scene. True, 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 true. Because we still need to figure out how. Yeah, so, fun fact, by the way, chat. Once we meet CL, CL knows about Cutterdea. Here, there you go. Fun fact, in Melty Blood Back Alley, while they show CL's ass, they confirm that CL actually knows that it's Cutterdea. Which is very interesting. Right?音源を知り、私たちの技に近い知識を持つ人物です。ソフトとハードも造語も極めてシンプルなエレガントなそして気力を持っている東方な技術も知り謎の生物その二択三問で売り払ってしまう何か心当たりでもいやそうではないしかし私にはどう見ても普通の世界のようにしか見えないのかいえ紛れもなく異世界ですこんなのが立って歩いてしゃべっているのは私たちが全く疑問を持っていませんなるほどにゃんか引っかかる言いたるだにゃん And then this is Melty Blood Realm. And in the Melty Blood Realm, a portion of Shion at Elysia meets roast beef. And And then CL saves roast beef using black keys from you know who, and specifically Ronnie number 8 specifically says this is the 9,999 loop. It says, "Will you force finish this?" And then the older sister says, "Let's wait a little more." And Ronnie 8 says, "Understood." And roast beef introduces herself to CL. Right? Says, "Thank you so much for helping. Name is, blah, 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 blah. Reason by foot of the stud of roast beef." And CL says, "I know. This is our first time meeting, but, aka CL, enforcer, and, burial, blah, blah, blah." And then she noticed that she's an enforcer. Not only knights were taken care of. And then she looks at CL. She looks at Atlas Shion, right? She looks at Atlas Shion, and then specifically states, "Hey, that Shion is London, Puraha, and if I'm not wrong, that is Karodea." Roast beef doesn't know Karodea. CL specifically goes, "Don't you know?" The church, right? The fucking church and the quote unquote church and the Maids Association both given fundings, a research based organization. And then roast beef goes, "That's kind of whacked, and isn't that illegal, right? What is your objective?" "That's a secret. But I was here to confirm something." And then roast beef goes, "Holy shit, how crazy are you, right? In order to make that happen, how far are you going?" できる限り墓ばきは控えようとも。And so, roast beef is like, what sort of method are you going to do to make your information happen? CL just laughs, "I'm not gonna dig graves. That's about it. If I don't need to. Haha." "何時で謝りて。いやいや、これはとても茶番だ。皆に耐えない。しかしあなたは私の道を違う。今の君にたたりはやや荷が重いようだ。どうかね。手取り足取り教える義務はないが、目の前にもう構図もい芝居を演じられている。感化するのにじくじたるものがある。いいかね。かつて私は未来を目指していた。現世をすべてを捨て、己の存在すら投げ打ち、理想の結末を追求した。結末も同じもなく、たたりの成り当てる第三魔法という夢に糸び破れたがゆえ。だが君は、もう一人の君の暗まる願望になぞっているに過ぎない。君は本には未来への展望がないのだ。あ、それに、これは何と言ったか。そう、二番煎じ。つまりうまくない。私はもや変わることもなき結末。いかに技巧が限り尽くそうと未来の栄光なく作り返す同じ七夜の芝居。ああ、これこそまさに悲劇だ。君はそうではない。未熟で深たしたが舞台の絡みともてなすと分かっていない。だが良い、良きにつけ、悪につけ、次元自在に先を向くさらにも分からなくなるゆえ。いや、はや、実に羨ましい限り。だが、その道はデッドエンドだよ、シオ。俺らの失敗に恥じることはない。戻れるのなら目的、一目散に戻りたまえ。So, in a weird way, right? While Tatari was taunting her, Tatari, aka her dad, was also giving her good advice, saying that this is merely a tragedy. You're only following the footsteps. You're not making your own footsteps. But someone like me, essentially Tatari, is set in stone, unlike you, Shion. Shion, you're amateur, unsure, and you don't understand what it means to stand on stage. You don't know your left and right. But whether you side for good or bad, you can twist it and contort to your own will. In your future, whether it's good or bad, even better or worse, I sincerely am jealous of you, right? Because if you don't know, Tatari, he essentially, no matter what, right? No matter what, he's dead end. No matter what, his fate's sealed. He can't change his fate. And then simultaneously, Tatari is telling Shion, hey, the route you're currently going through is a dead end. So go back where you started. And in a weird way, even though this was on a 9,999 loop, right? On the 9,999th loop, she was able to go outside, finish the simulation, automatically concluded. And then we go to Chapter 4, Dream 4, aka The Door of Cutterdale. Right? And then from here, shit got whack. Because Chapter of Cutterdale, right? Chapter of Cutterdale involves a nice little conversation of Olga and quote unquote what's his name? Lef. And in a weird way, Lef's expression is very intriguing. Because Lef's expression has a specific demeanor. And in order to understand Lev 100%, you have to read Clock Tower 2015. 2015. There is a free version of Clock Tower 2015 that you can read. I don't know if I have it. Pretty sure somebody already translated it. But ooh, I don't know if I can find it. Son of a bitch. Did I not save it? No shot. I thought I saved it. Wah. Fuck. I might not have saved it. Scheiße. I have to go find it again. That's annoying. But yeah, there is entirely free shenanigans. Damn, son. In a weird way, Left Linor. This one actually is I can't remember who's who again, but yeah, if you don't know Lev, Left Linor, if you noticed in FGO, there's a third one in the mix. It's Lef Fraudos Linor. And fun fact, right? He has three personalities, and that's his thing. He has the one who gives the future, one that mediates the presence, and one that feeds to the past. And past and future wants to kill each other constantly. I have it. It's in the Discord. I don't need the translation. I need the Japanese version if you can find it. But yeah, it's interestingly enough, I sincerely hope they explain Melty Blood stuff. And with Melty Blood, you can already tell like certain characters are going to come into FGO, and practically even in Melty Blood, right? AKA FGO is being introduced here, right? That's why a lot of people, including I, will tell you that Melty Blood Back Alley is a bible of FGO since day one, right? This is pre FGO because, well, I wouldn't say pre FGO. This happened after season one of FGO because I think this came out in 2016. 2016, July 26th. When did FGO come out? Around 2015, right? Yeah, the book came out right around the first anniversary. And ever since then, right, FGO had such a possibility of involvement of both Tsukihime, Melty Blood, and more. Because remember, the due date that came out is July 26th, about 4 days before first anniversary. Don't put that shit in FGO General, because it'll get weird. Put it on Sparrow Chat. Yeah, put it on Sparrow Chat or it's either put it on Sparrow Chat or put it on spoilers. Because if you put that shit on General Chat, things will get wild. So be careful. While I honestly think that people should read Clock Tower translated 2015. I don't know if people are ready to understand that just yet. But other than that, Chatterino, Cappuccino, if you have any more questions, you have to tell me now. Because I think I have to go soon. Clock Tower manga or the novel? Should I read it? Wait, Clock Tower manga or the novel? What are you talking about? There's a manga version of Clock Tower 2015? No fucking shot. Nobody fucking told me there's a Clock Tower 2015, bro. Elamaloid, is chapter 8 out? Book number 8 is JP only, bitch! It's available in August 12th. Okay, it's not yet. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. I know jutsu. I know magic no jutsu to make this shit happen. Yeah, let's go back to Fate. I don't know if it's 2025. Yeah, because technically, what you want? Technically, Clock Tower 2025 is free. It's free to read. I gotta write that shit in Japanese. Toketo. Toketo 2015年. Clock Tower. Clock Tower 2015. No, a lot of Fate Strange Fake and thingies, but no Clock Tower 2015. By the way, this one's pretty lit. And don't mess with the Azon King Kurova. Bungo Stray Dogger. Bungo Stray Dogger. I don't think there is one. I don't think it's on sale. Yeah, I don't think at least it's in this book. Because you type in Clock Tower 2015. I don't want fucking English. Is there an internet archive of this? Oh! Oh! Is there? No shot? Hey, yo. Oh, it's translated version. Fuck, whatever. And there is an internet archive that kind of makes you able to read it very easily. So I do recommend putting that. Yeah, I see it, bitch. But I want the non. But I want the non-clock tower, chat. I want that shit in Japanese, brother. In Japanese. Ah, it's all translated. Whatever. Yeah, I just gotta find it. Friend has it in the links. I probably gotta ask him again. Should I read Clock Tower 2015? If you want to know more about Left Noru and if you want to understand more of FGO and how mysterious it is, and for that guy to be the main protagonist of Season 1, I do highly recommend reading it for sure, 100%. Because by understanding Clock Tower 2015, you'll kind of learn to appreciate why Lev Linor is so important. And the sheer fact that he was left flawless Linor makes one of the bigger mysteries in FGO. Because in Fate, he's none of those. He's actually left Linor. And in 2015, specific thing that happens every time happens every time. But in FGO, it didn't happen, which also makes it interesting. I do recommend reading the translation. I don't know how good the translation is, so just be warned. Do you think Alko will be an important role in the final chapter of season 2? She can shit on Mudasmitty, and then event was just a facade. Wait, what? Do you think Alko will be an important role in the final chapter of 2 since she can shit on Mudasmitty, and the event was just a facade? I don't think Alko is gonna be FGO. I think you should think Alko as. See, it's funny because Nasu says use Arcuid as a guest of FGO, but in actuality you should think that Alko should be the guest of FGO. Because while Alko is going to be the guest of FGO, she really, like, while she can exist in our domain, she really can't do anything in our domain. Because, the rules is different in FGO world than the OG world, right? So I wouldn't be surprised though if she plays a role in space. Like if she comes in as a guest role in the summer event, I wouldn't be surprised. Knowing Nasu, he said it was Nasu World, so Nasu lore galore. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nasu used this opportunity to bring all the FGO people to all the Type Moon people together. I like how unlimited blade work is 99¢. A lot of the shit starts at 99¢. That's kind of lit. Oh shit, it's on sale. Hold up. Yeah, material 13. Hold up. You can buy material 13? Oh, you fucking tease. Yeah, because if you don't know, I have all the way up till material 9. Damn, I can buy material 13? Oh, you bitch. Oh, you bitch. It wants me to buy it. God damn it. I really want to buy. I'm gonna put it in the cart. Okay, I'll put it in the cart. All right. I'll decide later. Yeah, because if you don't know, chapter 10, 11, 12 is I have to do voodoo magic to make it happen. But chapter 13 is, they didn't nerf chapter 13. You know what I'm saying? They knew. Somebody knew out there looking out for me. God damn, brother. Yeah, because that also goes with Fate Strange Fake too. Because I believe in about a month or two, we're gonna get Fate Strange Fake book number 16. I mean, a book number 6. Unfortunately, you can't read it because AKA it's Fate Strange Fake spoiler. But I got all of them. Stupid bitches. I know what I'm doing, ho. Now, I need the author. I need the fucking author of this person to get their ass moving. Like, for real, for real. I want Redline to just accelerate 20 million fold. Also, to support the creator, I gotta buy this shit. Oh, dude. One thing that I really want FGO to animate is this show. Is this manga right here. This manga needs to get animated. Hands down. Like, I will die on this hill that this FGO food report of the heroic spirits needs to get animated. The reason why I say that is because if you read this, it is about, it's essentially equivalent to Emiya's cooking, right? It's essentially Emiya's cooking, but it's FGO. And FGO servants talk about their own food and in their own timeline and interacting, right? So you get like super unique interactions, like Knights of the Round Table interacting with Sherlock Holmes, interacting with every England character, right? Like Anderson, not Anderson, Shakespeare, right? Where Shakespeare teaches Lartoria, right, the Lancer, how to drink. I think it was like milk tea. I think it was. I think it was milk tea. Yeah, how to drink milk tea in Shakespeare's timeline, right? And you also get a here. I don't know if they got the fucking episode. Um, they kind of show you how. They kind of show you how curry works. It'd be awesome, right? It'll be awesome for Greek for Circe's. Yeah, and that'll be awesome too, right? There's the food for Spartacus, food of Sparta, aka Leonidas. Chapter 5 is France cookies, and France prince and princesses. And then yeah, it's really fucking good, right? Like I'll quickly show you guys, right? Kind of like a quick rundown. So essentially, talks about records and food. Da Vinci munches on little green peppers, and then talk about eating big ass boar. There's Lartoria, Knights of the Round Table. Eating demonic meat is normal. Even Holmes can cook. And then Lartoria's like, who the hell is Holmes? Detective. And then the Lartoria kind of bickers around uh, Britain later onwards, right? 19th century Britain. And then talks about like back in my day. Yeah, back in my day, the fanciest shit that we could have had was roast pork. And so Holmes is cooking, right? Holmes is cooking in order to make sure Lartoria feels at home. So he's going to give her a Holmes era food. And so protagonist starts thinking, when it comes to England cooking, it's about fish and chips, right? Like scones, sandwiches, afternoon teas, etc. And then Holmes goes, you're right. However, this, in the 19th century, the most beloved food that we had is curry. And then people are like, it says here, why curry? And then Holmes goes, isn't it curry when you talk about England? Right? And this is 100% easy gateway to FGO. 100%. Because it's just heroic spirits interacting with other heroic spirits. You get to eat, like, you get to see really delicious, high detailed food. And they talk about the history of the food while it is in their era, right? And then, protagonist, like, when it talks about curry, it's India, right? And it's like, you're right. Curry originally came from India, but in England, a lot of people eaten it. Right? Even in the cookbook, it's written like this, right? Modern domestic cookery, 1851, curry, yada yada yada. Talks about it. Lartoria eats one, gets shocked. Everybody in their mom panics. It's like you poisoned her. She's just like this shit's lit. And then it's very spicy. Fokun says that shit's smelly, right? Fokun says this stinky hides nose because it is strong on spice. And then kind of Holmes talk about like reason why England is known for the curry around the 19th century. The root was because there was a route to India, and curries and spices were being taken from India to England. Right? And then they specifically talk about how it's made back in the day, how the sea route's been taken, and then they're specifically talking about why is an Indian curry, its roots and its circumstances reached all the way to India. I mean, England, right? And then Holmes is like, that's a good question, Miss Caroline, and kind of talks about the trade route, right? Because following the land all the way to Kartatara, Madurasu, Hobato, and Goa, and then just kind of following the land sail all the way to England. Because remember, back in the day, they didn't go to England to India, right? Because there's America, and that like back in the day, the map was fucking unknown for America, and that's why Columbus, who fucking went to the world above. And then yeah, specifically from the 20th century, curry didn't pop off. And then he says this is where we come into play. You see Christian Andersen and Shakespeare. It says なかなかいい刺激だ。目が覚める。止まった相手が溢れそうですな。And it says, yeah, we've only stayed up for 5 nights straight. They specifically talk about during my days, I had deer meat pies. It says, by the way, it's 17th century meat pie. Don't think of it like modern. It's fucking. It's salted galore. It says if you eat that shit every day, you'll get bored in a week. It's just impossible. You'll get bored in 3 days. Like like they kind of have this awesome things. It says yeah. Then Lartoria specifically says my intuition predicts that these two are also born from Britain, and it's making me worry. And then they talk about blah 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 da 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 da. And then even Holmes is like, "You're in front of our king, you two." Yeah, like change your attitude. And says, "Oh, I sincerely apologize. It was a Oriental shock that I've reminded myself in the nostalgic past. So, in order to show you my respect and an apology, I will give out my era of tea style if I would as a compensation." It says when it comes to England, it's about teas, right? It says, however, the England famous teas were way after my era. Specifically, how they done things compared to I. So he goes, here it is. Here is the quote unquote back in the day noble like milk. Right? Here's the milk. And Lartoria goes, oh, I see. So essentially, this is the milk tea. Essentially, it's a tea added with milk. And then he said, Lartoria goes, oh, I see. Tea. It says, unfortunately, when it comes to tea, we had to get it. We had to get it from an import, right? We had to get it from an import. It was super expensive, you see. And then Lartoria kind of hesitates, saying so this product is also from the sea beyond, right? Because remember, Britain back in the day, there were very close borders because of Vikings and scary shit outside world, right? Lartoria and them had the idea of outside world scary invaders coming in. But compared to Shakespeare's and others, imports and outside world is not as scary as back then. So she kind of hesitates whenever she hears food from an exported food. So it says, my king, what's wrong? Then Lartoria realizes something when she tries to drink it. And then it says, there's a lot of grossness inside the teacup. Everybody and their mom tries to kill Shakespeare. And Lartoria says, stay, right? Stay. And then Shakespeare's like, no, no, it's not something foreign or poison. It's merely tea leaves for the tea. And then it says, please do understand, in our era, this is how you drink your tea. Using these in order to make sure that the tea leaves do not enter, we use the saucer and change it from the cup to the saucer and drink it like that. By exchanging the drink to the saucer, you don't have to worry about the tea leaves, and it prevents you from getting a sudden burn to the tongue. It is two birds, one stone. I see. And then Lartoria drinks it. It says it has a very good fragrance. And then Mash asks, why do you do something like that in the first place? And then it says, yeah, shouldn't you use a cuse or a teapot to, filter things out? And then Holmes interjects and says, understand that in England, using tea to teapot style stabilized and solidified around 1800. It says when tea started to become famous around 1700 Europe, they didn't have the technology to create teapots. Every single item was exported from the Eastern things. It says, yeah, teapots were so rare to come by that it was so expensive that not even nobles were able to afford. It was essentially a flower that was expensive, too expensive. So back in the day, they would use the cup as the filter, and they use the saucer, aka the plate below, as cups. And then Holmes flexes my cup and my saucer, right? And it says in modern days, tea comes with cup and a saucer. That is the reason to keep the nostalgia. And then Lartoria Reminiscences says, I see. The later Britain, the people of Britain, were able to have these fine dines and culture of food from the seas of beyond. And then she specifically talks about during my time, seas of beyond with nothing more than enemies come in. It was something to be hated. It was an absolute detriment. It was something that to be tolerated or underestimated. It says, I cannot believe the later generations they would use it to travel around different worlds and culturally exchange. It says no matter what the generation may be, it was something that I will never probably able to perform. Because even though the land was so hard to live in the land of Britain, the sheer fact that the people were able to bring out something so rich and flavorful of like this is a wonderful thing. I feel proud for this to happen. And then she specifically says, thank you for your hospitality, Holmes. And then it says, it is my pleasure, Arthur King, King Arthur. And then Mordred comes in and says, is the food ready? I'm not really expecting much. What the hell are we eating today? And then Lartoria leaves. And then Mordred kind of bypasses each other. And Mordred is dumbfounded. It says, today's curry, Mordred. And it says, Master, that's my father, right? King Arthur himself. When did you summon him? He says, why? I summoned him today. Yeah, what's wrong? He says, I never thought the feeling in the atmosphere of that person was completely different being. More like a wafty, right? Fluffy. It says, I've never seen so laid back, like my father so laid back in that form. And then you can see her ahoge kind of floating, right? In happiness, right? It says, yep, you probably see more of this later in the future. And that concludes chapter 1. This is just chapter 1, bro. Okay? Like, you see how fucking awesome this shit was? And I TLDR'd most of this. This needs to get animated. Okay? 100%. It'll be the most delicious looking lore lore filled anime, hands down, okay? Hands down. And that was chapter 1. We have all the way after chapter 7. And chapter 7, it's fucking Drake, Blackbeard, and how to live like a pirate. And the chapter is fucking called See the Land, See the Land and the Water and, right? And it's literally about vacationing on an island and talking about the pirate life, both the elegant side and the not elegant side. Told not only by Blackbeard, but also by Marion Ang, Marion Bonnie, and fucking Captain Drake on a wooden boat. It's lit as fuck. Right? And they talk about the sea life, where they are, how they do, specifically puts on extra clothes that Blackbeard had. By the way, Blackbeard has his fucking Final Ascension costume on, right? And then gives the clothing to Master to not get sunburned. And specifically talks about how to fillet a fish, how to dry a fish, how to blood bucket, and don't want to do yada yada yada. And then Master makes this mistake of just like, I bet you guys have like month worth of food in your ship and go on a set sail. Fun time, aren't you? And then I think that's Bonnie, right? I think it's Bond. Bond specifically says, "You think we go constantly on a big expedition?" And Master says, "No." And then Drake and the others specifically says, "By in our time, we didn't go out and explore. We actually just stayed on shore." And then specifically talks about they didn't pack a lot of things in their ship, and they specifically talks about the reason why they don't go out the land is because of drinkable water, right? Simultaneously says stored water can get rotten super easily, so we can't hoard it all the way. It says unlike alcohol and food, it's a resource that we have to constantly replenish. And then they specifically talk about certain things and where things get stored, yada yada yada. And then yeah, Mary asks, "What do you think of a pirate life and how pirate eats?" Right? And then Master kinds of, since he's a peaceful mind, he's just like, see on the seaside, eating food, eating fish, drinking alcohol, party it up left and right. It says, Master, as expected, those who are not struggling, you know how to think. And then Drake and Blackbeard kind of goes, yeah, I suppose that is the dream, isn't it? And then Drake slowly but surely kind of tells the truth, right? It says a lot of cooking was done offshore, right? Not on the boat. And then Protag's like, why not on the ship and on the board? It says during that time, the ship cook was allowed to get off 3 times in a day to cook specifically. After all, whenever it comes to using fire, you have to do it on land. It says you do understand the risk of using fire on a ship, right? And then protagonist goes, yeah, afraid of fire because it's made out of wood. After all, ship gets burned down, it would be quite crazy. And then specifically talks about the Viking porridge, using like flour and water and butter to kind of get like porridge all kind of made up in an instant and whatnot. And it says, yeah, compared to Master's image, the pirate's life is a little different, as you can see. And then they kind of talk about like a lot of cheese, butter, dried food, something that can be preserved long. It says those can't last forever, and from then things get rough. Then Mary stops Master, says it's something you don't need to know. And then everybody ate the same food. Protax asks, doesn't the captain get a fancier food? And then she specifically says, no, everybody eats equally. After all, if it's not equal, they'll just shoot him on the spot. So yeah, what a pirate life, huh? It says, when things get rough, we just gotta steal it from the other ship. They all says it. It says, other than stealing it from other ships, do you have any other way? Then Blackbeard tells his story, right? It says, after that, it's alcohol or rum, right? You just drink and try to enjoy and try to erase it away. It says, you just drink alcohol even to replenish water, to just make it go away. If there's no food, you drink your alcohol away. If there's no water, you drink your alcohol away. It says everybody would start to get hungry, and those would be raggedy and rioting. Everybody enjoys it in their dream. And then Blackbeard goes, "Hey, Master, you want to know the best way to fix a food shortage problem on the sea?" It says, "What is it, Blackbeard?" Bang. and fucking puts his finger on his forehead and says, bang. He says, all you gotta do is just lessen the load. Less mouth to feed. Just kidding. He says, hey, Blackbeard, can you stop messing around, please? And then Drake is like, nope, he'll definitely do it. He'll definitely shoot his crewmates without hesitation. And then makes it a very Blackbeard makes a very hard face. Specifically says, Mary made sure to not talk about that because of she thought of Master. But understand that pirate's life is not as elegant as it sounds. A long voyage with seasick and alcohol sick people thrown up left and right on the starburst and everywhere. It says your dried meat is already rotten to the core. Biscuits has been already stolen by the rats that has snuck its way in. It's shit all over the place. Shit all over the place, ruining the atmosphere, morale, and the smell. It says you think it's a happy-go-lucky, but it's not. It's a life of miserable. It was rough to some, but everybody still wanted to become a pirate. You see. Because in the sea, everybody has a dream that wants to make it come true. It's filled with mysteries and all, after all. It says probably somebody that's popular or a normie would not understand. Those who would travel around the seaside of the internet, my friends and comrade, would also come up with the same nonchalant. I really want to translate this. So essentially, Blackbeard is saying that there's infinity dream on the sea, right? And then he's comparing the sea to the internet sea, right? And then that's why he's saying that the fellow comrades of the sea of the internet would understand this dream of ours that's been tucked into a vast shore. It says you would dream about something that would never be allowed on the land, and you would take that what you want. That's what the sea was all about, you see. But there was one thing that's corny, but it's kind of cool though, right? He's making it the double entendre of web, right? The vast wide world web and the vast wide world sea. It is corny, but it's really nice for a pirate to kind of talk about it like that. After all, he is a modernized Blackbeard. Blackbeard knows he is us after all. And then he specifically says one thing. He says, "Hey, even the sea had one thing that no ayat. There is one thing that even the sea could not provide." And says, "What's that?" Right? Something that exists, something that doesn't exist while you're on the sea. Is that it's that one fresh water, one cup of fresh water that you get to drink right after you land on shore. That mere moment feels ecstasy of an equivalent of highest alcohol that you've stolen through the sea, and even more of that. It makes you feel alive right when you step on land. And because of that, you just get addicted to go back to the sea to feel that once more. So it's kind of just Blackbeard, kind of just dreaming it up a bit, right? But that's kind of his. I do wish the translation would be cooler than how I'm explaining it. I'm not doing you justice, right? It's essentially Blackbeard is saying that it's that one cup of water returning from the seashore, right? After all the adventure, the first cup of water is the most delicious thing that no high quality alcohol that you stole can compare to. And because of that, he gets addicted to that. He wants to go back to sea to experience that luxury, that reward all over again, right? And then they kind of talk about the pirate's life, and then while they finish talking about the pirate's life, They get back on shore, and everybody and their mom, comes back happy-go-lucky. Tamamocat surprise. No problem being chilling on the most flexible tree on the planet Earth. And Tamamocat's like, you disappeared all of a sudden. Mash was quite worried. I said, sorry, had the transponder off. I'm glad that you were able to find me. It's like, it's not me that found you, Wolf. Look. And then there's blood, Eric the Blood Axe. And then she specifically says, I thought he gotten a deer, but he looks at the sea and says, smells blood. It seems that it was Master. You guys were, it seems that Master, you guys were the problem after all, Wolf. Because, fish is water and blood gut. And Eric figured it out right off the bat. And then Eric sees the dried fish and kind of quickly remembers the Viking life, which is so cool, right? Because he doesn't say a single fucking word, right? Master kind of gets a telepathy image of Eric the Blood Axe's life a little bit, where he's just on his fucking voyage, dry food, making the Viking porridge, and then he's like, oh, I just suddenly saw a memory, right? A glimpse of a memory of sorts. And then turns around and says, oh. And then he still has the deer that captured, right? So after he killed the deer, he looked at the sea, noticed the masters and them were there. And says, oh, I see. Then I must go ahead, Masta, right? I says, don't be late. Speaking in tongues. Neko ni hone, inu ni sakana da. Cat gets bones, dog gets fish, don't be late. AKA, flip that around. Cat gets fish, dog gets bones, don't be late. It says it's time for us to prepare Splash Shop. It says, thanks everyone. Because of you guys, we'll be able to come back safely. And then after all that, Mash, cries. There's a Swimsuit Helena and Summer Nobu, which is pretty awesome. Mash cries and be happy, huggy, barbecue time. Eric eating fucking meat, no problem. Cursed Arma-san being the best sous chef that Emiya and Tamamocat and Boudica ever need. It's really finely detailed. And then you get to see little Hassan, which is so cute. And then it says, yeah. And then the cool thing is, right? Protag remembers what Blackbeard says. He says, thanks for the clothing. I'll give it back to you. And then he's like, man, you got quite the sunburn. I told you to wear it on top of your head tightly. He says, you're red all over. He says, ha ha ha. It stings just a bit. But here you go. And then Blackbeard's like, oh, you remembered. Blackbeard's a bit embarrassed. Perhaps you're trying to unlock the Blackbeard route? He's like, nah, I don't think so, but... and then Blackbeard's like, come on, you're supposed to look out for me and drink a beer, right? He says, unfortunately, I'm underage, so I can't bring it along. But this will do. And then he goes, well, with that, good job on our voyage, I suppose. Thanks for the water. Because they both are drinking water, because remember what Blackbeard said, right? Drinking water is the best thing ever. First thing you land on shore. And so they both drink water. It's like, man, I wish I could drink beer or rum. Hey, Blackbeard, what? But then again, every time I go back on land, feeling like you're still alive and well and quenched after a really nice cup of water. Doing this every time feels like you are alive once more. Then again, I'm a servant, not sure about what alive means anymore, right? And then Drake comes in, it's like, what y'all doing? Having fun, boys out only? Why don't we have a festivity? If we're going to do it, you better invite us in. It says, I didn't call for you, Baba. Yeah, it says, yeah, Baba, right? Old hag, I didn't invite you to this. And then I like how everybody and their mom is like, well, Blackbeard, we technically didn't invite you, but I suppose Blackbeard did something. It's just, and nobody's invited me. What? I'm an extra. Come on. And then Drake is laughing, right? And says, "Oh well, here, I stole some beer, so." And then it says Master gets orange juice, right? And Blackbeard's like, right, clicks his tongue, but still doesn't accept the beer. Drake's all laughing, wholesome, wholesome. It says, "All right, to finish off the today, let's finish off the today, and able to land shore safely. Cheers." Right? Everybody has beer except Master, who has orange juice. The end. It's so fucking good, dude. Like, this not getting animated is a crime. Let's say this was real, and wouldn't the brain eventually go nuts if it saw all the memories of so many servants? Well, this is just a glimpse, right? On top of that, it's a berserker, and this is a what-if moment, right, Shadow? So it's just for the sake of wholesomeness. It's so wholesomeness, right? Like, I swear, FGO Heroic Spirit Food Record is underrated, even to this day. This needs to get animated, 100%. And like I said, I will die on this hill. And the greatest part about it is the author started to fucking write chapters again. God bless. By the way, this was updated 2 days ago. The last update we had of that person was 2023, March 1st. Okay? So, we're back. After a year and 5 months, we are back at it again. God bless. So, I need you guys to push this. I need you guys to support this. Because if we can get this person cooking, we can actually get the anime cooking. You feel me? It's so good. It is, like I said, it is one of the most underrated FGO manga to date. Because remember, I only showed you 2 chapters. Yeah, now you're hungry. You still haven't seen how Sparta food works, how France Prince and Princesses' snack works. There's an entire chapter of this shit that's more than ever before. We've got Egyptian food, Oriental food, Victorian, Victoria, England curry, right? And ancient Mesopotamia foods. Like, it's in there in that chapter. It's so good. Like, you see Pharaoh and Iskandar interactions and shit. It's lit. Thanks, I'm hungry now. He'll probably have to make 10 or more chapters to make it a season. Oh, I agree. He needs to make 3 more chapters. And I sincerely hope he takes his sweet fucking time and make it happen. Because the sea, the Okeanos crew, it's lit. It's fucking lit. I sincerely hope each chapter takes an entire 30 minutes. I really do. Each chapter needs to be 30 minutes. At least. At least. 100%. Right? Sorry. But yeah, Mobby Blues. I got too excited. As always, reminder, FGO in 4 days. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to follow me, because I will be live translating it. Hope you're doing swell there. Isan Adim. Thank you. Gags and food culinary. Yep. I got the Clock Tower mini novel. Good. Start reading. You'll enjoy it. Thanks, Trez, for the stream. Yes, sir. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, YouTube, and the Discord action. As always, if you can help me out, hit on that Rogue Energy Drink discount code TLT. If y'all want some big energy drink action, I am sponsored by them. Everything you buy from here, don't forget to type in TLT to get 20% off, And every commission you purchase from here on out will support my streaming. Okay? And if you guys want free tryouts, you're more than welcome to attempt to get additional flavors and whatnot. There is a energy variant and a hydration variant. So if you're not into energy drinks, try hydration variant. It's pretty good. Hydration's pretty lit. If not, you can go for the hibiscus chill. Right? But other than that, thank you guys so much for coming. Greatly appreciate it. I will see you all. What is